Hey, how's it going? Today I'm actually wasn't planning on doing this, but here I go anyway because I just kept being pointed in this direction, and it kind of all started because I had read the card that I pulled yesterday. So I pull a card every day or a couple just to a tarot card to sort of get an idea of what the days got in store. And it's from the Shaman's Dream deck, the card that I pulled, and it's called The Fool's Embrace. And it says, Transmuting Pain. And I thought, okay, well, let me hold on. So, okay, I got that card and I thought, oh, okay, well, that's an opportunity for me to talk about something that I don't think I've really been too clear about. And that is that, like, oh, come on here and I'll talk about movie stuff, but then I'll start talking about other stuff, like sort of metaphysical ish stuff, but I'll just sort of try and direct all of the observations and things toward myself as opposed to what I see a lot of us doing, which is rather than taking responsibility for our part in whatever has happened. And in this particular case, there's not a case, but I mean, in this way that I'm trying to speak about it is usually about something that's not necessarily going great. And so something in your life has gone awry, has gone wrong, or in some way that you did not intend for it to go, and it's not good. It's not working out the way you planned. You're not happy. You know, things have gone south. You get the idea. So, uh, I'm trying to clear all of the aspects of my life, all of the corners that are cobwebby and need clearing because, for one thing, because there's many reasons for wanting to do this at this particular point in time in my life, is like when you die, you have a life review and you kind of it's your permanent record basically, and you go over it with whoever you meet on the other side. It could be family, it could be any number of people. Like, I just couldn't say for anyone else for sure, and not even for myself, who I'm going to come into contact with first when I cross over. And it's not a worry or anything, but it's like you do sort of this exit interview. Uh, uh, what do they call it? When the spies come in, a debriefing, and you sort of are seeing like what you how you did with like the plan you set out with. Once again, harkening back to the birth contract thing, you are reviewing like, did you accomplish what you set out to do? And if you didn't, what did you do instead? And I think the idea is, or I should say, I gather that the idea is to like say, okay, yes, I accomplished what I wanted to accomplish. I had the experience I wanted to experience, felt the things I wanted to feel, and then some things I didn't hit the mark, didn't achieve what I wanted from that experience, and I want to do over. And so, like, maybe you set that aside for your next go round, as part of your next plan, like your a plan of objectives. So that's one reason to do all the clearing personally, because like as much of it, I think, like, I guess here we would say it was like you're clearing your karma, um, or writing it, or RIGHTING, writing, you know, setting it straight, clearing it, making it right. And I feel like the more of it you can do while you're actually here, the better. Um, but it seems like, from what I've learned, it doesn't matter like how you go about it. You could do it the way I described at the end, and then do a reset and get your do-overs and do it better, or at all if you didn't the first time. But I feel like as much as you can like sort of cross off the list, the better. I don't know. Like, I don't think you're gonna get like a prize or anything, but I think the goal is like the satisfaction of having achieved your objective. And maybe you don't know what benefits are going to flow from something like that until you just like let go of it and not try to control the outcome. And because that's how it seems like in life anyway. Like you may have like some goal or desire, but there's a certain kind of focus that'll achieve what you want or get you toward that end. And there's a certain kind that may or may not get you there, but if it's this other kind I'm speaking of, it could tend to make you have not like the clearest thinking and choose not great decisions. But if that is what your choice is to do, then those are the experiences you're gonna have. Like, you commit a crime, you cause a lot of havoc and terror and just destruction in your wake, but you get caught and then you pay for it, and you know, or you get away with it. Like, whatever happens with either outcome is something that you've chosen. And even though like our perception here on earth, here and now, might be like that was an evil and bad thing to do, it was still a thing that fits into the grand scheme of things. Because even though we might make an instantaneous decision, to us it might, like, time exists differently here on earth as it does like everywhere else. Like, it pretty much doesn't exist the way it does here anywhere else. How do I come up with this shit? I don't know. I mean, I've looked at a lot of stuff. I've followed threads of spirituality, and don't get too off the crazy track. But just to sum it up, I just feel like better to do it here. Like, get as much off of your record, your permanent record, as possible. And whatever you decide in the moment, there's going to be a route for you to go down and have experiences. So you're still doing the thing. It may not be exactly what you plan in the first place, but apparently that stuff's not written in stone. And I have an interest in doing this also because I'm relieved of a lot of the types of things that would distract you or me normally from spending so much time in like self-study and just basically trying to pick apart my knots and do my own therapy, I guess. And I feel like I've been successful in a lot of ways, like figured some things out that have made my life easier. And there's just always something. So that's why I'm always talking about like, oh, I'm clearing this, or I had this feeling that wasn't a great one maybe, and just was going through it, or or not having anything in particular going on, but feeling, sensing like that sort of energy that you feel when something not great is going on. Which is to say, I'm like a windsock basically, and I guess, empathically feeling stuff, you know? Well, not I guess. I know that it happened and I felt it. Like I'm all of a sudden nauseous for no reason, or angry for no reason, or super sad, or like just happy. Like, when you're just all neutral and you start feeling stuff and like there was no extenuating nearby stimuli to have accounted for what you're feeling, it's like, well, it ain't me, but I'm still feeling it, so whatever you want to call it, it's something. So that happens a lot. And I have time to sit around and like examine it in minute detail and like write down my feelings about it, or just talk to myself, therapy about things, and just work stuff out. And I think it's like a consciousness level thing where, and I'm not going to discount age from that, because that's along with having the time to contemplate things. You presumably reach an age where you have the ability to slow down and take it easy, or less so than you did in your youth, where you're just working constantly, doing, meeting, or not, but whatever it is, you and your attitudes and your perspectives change when you age, and honestly, stuff just calms down a lot more, and like you start to understand priorities differently, and what to get super excited about and what not to. Like finding cat hair in your mouth all of a sudden. It must just be drifting around because he's not even in here. Anyway, so I hope that gives a clearer idea of what I'm always on here yapping about. I wanted to read this about the tarot card, what the guidebook said about it, because I think it has to do with what I was just saying about sort of clearing your accounts before you get to the end of the line, or beyond the end of the line. I mean, if anything, if it's even just for like brownie points, those are not like nothing in this context to me. So okay, here's what the guidebook says about the card, and I'll just remind you again that the card says Fool's Embrace, transmuting pain. Okay. Fool's Embrace, transmuting pain, allowing life to love you, the experience of both / and. The pain of life is sometimes unbearable. When we're in it, we think that pain, that loss, that betrayal will always be woven through our continuity of existence. We're kept hostage by the way we identify with the pain and what we make it mean. If we let it, it becomes etched into us like a tattoo. No matter where on the spectrum of pain you find yourself now, whether it be mild disappointment or searing loss, it's time to make peace with it. Befriend it rather than resisting it and running away from it or judging it as bad or unfair or hostile. Can you see the gift that is here? Surrender to the Fool's Embrace, allowing the truth, woe's not part of it, to envelop you in love and compassion. What if you could learn something amazing from this? What is truly yours will not pass you by. Something better and perfect for you is waiting elsewhere. If you could come to terms with the liberation and freedom inherent in loss, your broken heart might open you up to a greater sense of humanity and compassion. As in the narrative of tarot, the fool will be at the beginning of your life's adventure and at the end, when you've integrated all the wisdom you've accumulated along the journey. He will never let you down or lie to you. He will, however, teach you how to revel in both the beauty and desperation of life. Both slash and this and that will always be true. Remember, the pearl can't be created without the gritty sand causing discomfort and acting as a catalyst in the oyster. Your pearl is discovered in radical acceptance that everything has value. All is well now and will be well. Remember that today as you feel the fool's embrace. This deck and the way that I read cards, which is to go halfway through the book and stop and just consult. I just lost interest. But I have watched hours and hours and hours of readers to learn. Oh, I guess I'm finishing up. I'm pushing my stuff away from me. But I have just found that I do it deliberately to more intuitively than to sort of follow a bunch of guidelines, because that just feels right. But it's a learning curve. If you have the right deck, though, that speaks to you, it really moves things along. This one I got like I don't know, 5 months ago, and The Shaman's Dream it's called. And it is so, like, I'm so in tune with it. It's always talking about the stuff that I talk about, or I try to, because I feel like it says what I am always trying to say, but differently and better, more clearly. But, there's a version of something for everyone, right? Okay, thank you and good night.